When you hear what this trucking industry insider said to me, you are not gonna believe this.
What you just watched was a recent video clip from a fellow YouTuber, Patrick Humphrey. And what he has to say about truckers and the insider information he has to share is very startling. Truckers are the backbone of America, and we're seeing the results of total economic collapse with limits at Walmart and limits at Costco starting to spread all over the country. Soon, we will see shortages in all of our favorite foods and items from supply chain disruptions. Prepping for SHTF is more important than ever now. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks everybody for watching. If you haven't already, please click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be notified of my most recent video uploads. Comment below if you are in the trucking industry, transportation industry, or have a relationship to someone or know someone or a friend who is in the transportation and trucking industry. If you have any information or insight as far as what they're seeing, the cost increases that they're incurring, what they're seeing at the distribution centers, and what loads are turning down, please comment below and let us know. It's going to be very helpful and useful to the prepper community in doing the best we can to prepare ourselves for tomorrow. Prep now and stay prepared in a hectic world. Lots of people have been saying there's no fruit at Walmart and none at Costco. We have all seen empty shelves at Walmart and Costco. Empty shelves are at almost every store from supply chain disruptions. Prep now for SHTF before it's too late. Diesel prices are soaring and small trucking businesses struggle to stay afloat. As you can see here, and the article reads, drivers with smaller trucking companies which transport key goods and supplies across the country say it's getting harder for them to fill their tanks as the price of diesel soars higher by the day. The added cost for independent truckers risk worsening the supply chain crisis because some are considering parking their big rigs for good. Look around your house, look around your office. Everything in it, from the food in the fridge to the chair you're sitting in to the phone or tablet from which you're watching or listening to this video, was brought to you by a trucker. And despite much progress on alternative fuels, diesel still fuels 97% of the big rigs on the road today. The growing cost of running a trucking business are also linked to sky-high inflation levels consumers have seen across a range of goods and services. The owner of a small trucking company in Baltimore told NBC last month that, honestly, I woke up this morning wondering if I'm going to make payroll this week. You go from spending $350 to $400 to fill up a semi-truck, and now it costs over $1,000 to fill up the same semi-truck with diesel fuel. The growing problems the U.S. is facing is directly tied to trucking and truck drivers who transport all the goods we all need, from baby formula to feed your newborn to lumber to build your house on your homestead. Resonated by you, the people fighting this fight, we see and can feel the pain just from reading comments and reactions. Been in trucking for 30 years. Fuel went from $2,000 every 2 weeks to $5,200. We can't do it much longer. Took us 3 months to get a truck repaired and cost 3 times as much. We've had no increase in pay, but expenses are up so high. We will be lucky if we last a year. My husband and I are over-the-road truckers for 15 years, and we broke down in Arizona October of last year and couldn't get the part for over a month. We were forced to rent a car, drive home to Florida, and wait for the part. Later to be told that the part would be on national back order and would not be available for at least 6 months. And this comment here from a truck driver, and they confirm there is no exaggeration on the troubles of the trucking industry, while also pointing out that these problems exist and are growing concerns for other transportation industries, including aviation, forcing grocery stores and retailers to get creative in how they deceive the customers to try and stop mass panic and chaos by staging remodeling in areas of stores to distract away from the missing items and empty shelves. With food shortages and empty shelves becoming a product of profit or lack thereof, as truck drivers who are seeing higher increased expenses and overhead as a result of diesel prices, parts, and repair, are forced to turn down loads that aren't profitable enough for them to at least break even on their operating costs, as said here. One of the truckers told my husband that the warehouse was full of cat food, but they were not delivering it because it was not worth what they would get paid to deliver it. Meanwhile, our public safety is at risk as well. Police and fire departments are unable to respond to calls and patrol and provide public safety because their cars and trucks are broken and can't be repaired. Expect to see local taxes increase as these police departments and fire departments are incurring higher fuel costs to fill up their cars, SUVs, and fire engines with gasoline and diesel fuels. But don't worry, help is on the way. Kind of. Top Auto's CEO warns of battery scarcity as EV competition heats up. The new CEO and president of Volvo Cars has predicted that scarcity of battery supply will become a pressing issue for the electric car automotive sector, noting he thinks battery supply is going to be one of the things that comes into scarce supply in the years to come. Rivian CEO warns of looming electric vehicle battery shortage. Much of the battery supply chain isn't built yet, challenging an industry aiming to sell tens of millions of EVs in coming years. Car companies are trying to lock up limited supplies of raw materials such as cobalt, lithium, and nickel that are key to battery making. And many are constructing their own battery plants to put more battery-powered models in showrooms. But Rivian CEO RJ Scaringe is warning that the upcoming battery shortage is going to make the current chip shortage look like a small appetizer. He noted in an interview with the Wall Street Journal that a relatively small supply-demand imbalance with semiconductors resulted in aggressive overbuying and stockpiling, and ultimately resulted in the massive shortage that is affecting many industries, and especially the automotive industry today. Scaringe warns that the same thing is going to happen to batteries, but be an order of magnitude far worse. The crisis in Ukraine shed a light on the impact that a shortage of a key battery metal, nickel, could have on the auto business. But cobalt and lithium have long been a pending crisis for the industry too. Securing enough supply of these materials, especially lithium, is top of mind for auto manufacturers. These automakers such as Ford, Tesla, Rivian, Toyota, Volvo, need massive amounts of materials at the right price that can be secured in an environmentally and financially responsible way, which is not an easy task. This all couldn't come at a worse time as California unveils proposed measure to ban new gasoline-fueled cars. The Golden State has set these rules to force Californians to end their dependence on conventional cars as a critical component to California's goals to tackle climate change and poor air quality, and carrying out Governor Gavin Newsom's 2020 executive order ordering an end to the sale of gas-powered cars in California by 2035. We are likely to see more struggles and more pain as growing food shortages continue to get worse. Fuel and transportation costs increase to the highest levels in human history, while the struggle for electric vehicle EV battery-powered solutions are decades away from being a viable and realistic solution to our problems.